Hey, what's up, guys? Nitro Freak here, back with an actual response video. You know, I actually just watched Eaglespeed's video. You know, me and him don't see eye to eye. I don't like anything he does. Like, I don't hate people, but there's certain people that I just couldn't get along with, even if I tried, and he happens to be one of them. But you know, I will give him credit where credit is due. He made some really good points today about Ezekiel Elliott potentially going number 8, and we have bigger needs in that. But I will say this, all right? Now, Eaglespeed, you are right. We shouldn't go up that high and draft a running back regardless of what happens, because no running backs, you can get a running back in the 2nd and 3rd round. Ezekiel Elliott, I'm a Rutgers fan, okay? I watched Ezekiel Elliott play us in Piscataway last year, and he's a good back. He's not a god, though. You know, a lot of people want Ezekiel Elliott because of the name. He went to Ohio State, I understand, etc. But in my opinion, we have huge needs. Huge needs. We have, in my opinion, the number one need we need is wide receiver. I want Treadwell, but obviously if you get him at number 8, that's kind of reaching, because they're projecting him to fall at early 20s to mid 20s. So that would be kind of a reach. So what I would do, all right, is I would draft offensive linemen. Now, a lot of people don't like Stanley from Notre Dame, which is, it's an acceptable thing, but in my opinion, I don't really know much about Notre Dame, so I can't really judge. But who I really want is, I want Tunsil from Ole Miss. All right, this guy's a big motherfucker. Like, he was throwing up 225 pounds like it was nothing on the bench press. Probably, I think it was like 25 times. That's impressive. So, if we're going to draft someone, I think we should go O-line and draft Tunsil. But with that being said, I'm going to go back to the Eaglespeed thing. All right, he got pissed off this morning about Eagle fans being stupid on Twitter. Eaglespeed, let's be real here for a second. Everyone on Twitter, like, I know you're trying to be nice, but I'm on there every day. We probably have the stupidest fan base on Twitter. Like, what they do is they basically have their own opinion, which is okay. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But then when someone makes an opinion, it happens to be probably one of the bigger people on Twitter associated with the Eagles fan base, and they're most of the time they're wrong. And then what other people do is they actually like the person, so they side with them. There's nothing you can do about that. It just spreads, and they're stupid. They're fucking idiots. But it doesn't matter, because the Eagles, if they drafted Ezekiel Elliott, wouldn't shock me. Because I've told everyone time in and time out again that the Eagles front office is full of morons. Like, I'm gonna be straight with you guys. Like, I'm not optimistic about this team this year. Now, if they get on the playoff run this year, I would be completely shocked, because they're just not going in the right direction. They never have a plan, and it just seems like they're going backwards. Like, I mean, I'm gonna go back to the Chip Kelly thing for a little bit, because I think it needs to be said. You know, was getting rid of Chip Kelly the right idea? I don't know, but who knows? I mean, supposedly you're Jeffrey Lurie. You're going to put a plan in place. Then you're going to rip it out from everyone. So, I mean, you're going to go with Doug Peterson, who's never been a coach. You're going to bring back Sam Bradford, who was mediocre. Still have an offensive line that's in shambles. You don't really have a running back situation because Matthews can't stay healthy. Don't have wide receivers because Aguilar's a complete stiff. I'm sorry, he sucks. Aguilar fucking sucks, and no one can convince me that this guy's gonna turn it around. He's atrocious, and we have Ruben Randall. He sucks. So I mean, I'm very pessimistic about this team. Like, it is what it is. Like, I used to be so optimistic, like going all the way back to 2004 through, I'll say, 2013, 2014, when Nick Foles was here. But last year, I thought our season wasn't over until it actually was mathematically over, because we had a shot to go to the playoffs. But this year, I don't see it. Like, a lot of people try to get at me, oh, you bash this team too much during the offseason. There's a reason why I am. I don't see anyone on this roster that makes this team better. I don't. Do you see anything? Like, even if we get Tunsil, Sam Bradford isn't the kind of QB that tells me that he could go on a winning streak. Like, he was so mediocre last year. So mediocre. And, he played good against the Patriots. I tried to stick with him. I tried to hype up everybody with Sam Bradford. But at the end of the day, it just didn't work. After the Patriots game, I loved him. I was like, that's so clutch of him to stick it right in Riley Cooper's breadbasket on third, I think it was 3rd and 10. Pretty much seal the game until fucking Matthews fumbled the ball. But, no, was it Matthews? No, it might have been Barner. Yeah, Barner. But it's just, this year, in my opinion, is a rebuilding year. If it's anything more, I'll take it as a bonus. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to get up for this team. Like, I'll still watch the game. I'll still go to the games. Because, I like the tailgates. I like to watch the games. I like to watch this team. But when I'm pessimistic, something's wrong. Because I always like to get up for this team, I'll give you an example, all right? Flyers fans on Twitter, all right? I'm a huge Flyers fan. I just don't talk about them. When they get to the playoffs, I will make playoff videos for every team. Every team, Sixers, Flyers, Yankees, I'll make playoff videos when they get to the playoffs. But I won't talk about them in the regular season because the regular season's too long. The Flyers are an example of a team that is dangerous. All right? Now, I've had some people on Twitter, shout out to Dave, shout out to I Bleed Philly. I talk to them a lot. Mike, I talk to them a lot on Twitter about the Flyers. They've been telling me that this team's too inconsistent. We're not going to win the cup this year. This Flyers team, can win the cup this year. If they get into the playoffs, they beat the Capitals, and they get on a little run, I keep telling this, I keep stressing people time and time again that it's always about the hottest team in the playoffs and not necessarily the best team in the playoffs. The Flyers can absolutely win the cup if they get in. Absolutely. And I think they have the skill set. As long as Mason stays healthy and plays well, of course they can win. But that's an example of the exact opposite of what the Eagles are right now. The Eagles are at the bottom right now. They almost got into the playoffs last year because our division was so bad. DeMarco Murray left. We have no wide receivers. Our head coach is gone. The whole plan is in shambles. And you're bringing in a new system. He's working with a new QB, new offensive line, new defense. Well, not new defense, but new defensive coordinator. He has a lot to work with, and he's never been a head coach. What are you going to tell me that makes me think that this team is going to go to the playoffs this year? It doesn't matter who they draft. And Eaglespeed, I'm gonna end this conversation with saying good job with that video. Now, I don't give you props because I think what you've done in the past is bullshit, making us look bad. But I'll give you props on that video. I'll say it was a pretty good video because you brought up some good points. But I'll finish out with you. I will say the offensive line thing, like, I want Tunsil, but getting a running back at 8 would be absolutely stupid. I agree with you there. Getting Tunsil, I would like to get if he's there. But if you want my honest opinion, of who I think the Eagles are going to get, I think somehow, some way, they're gonna give the fans a big fuck you and try to go get Wentz. I don't know. It's vibes. I really think they're gonna try to go after QB. I don't know why. I just think they are. And our biggest need, in my opinion, is a wide receiver, but we'd be reaching. So what I would do is I would draft an offensive lineman, try to trade into the first round, get Treadwell, and then get some offensive linemen later on in the draft because we're deep in offensive linemen for this draft. But if you're right. If they draft Ezekiel Elliott, it's a wasted pick, and the plans just, I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But good video. It's a response to you, and yeah, go Birds. Bye.